Hey everybody, it's author MD New and welcome back to my writing tips and tricks for authors. Today let's talk about the kind of writer you are. So there are different types of writers and there are different types of writing styles. The question you have to figure out is what kind of writer are you? So for example, there are pantsers, planners, and then there's a combination of both. We'll figure out a little bit of what each of those are in a second, but in the meantime, I wanted to invite you to please like this video, and if you haven't already, to subscribe. And now let's jump into what kind of writer you are. So a planner is somebody who will fully outline their book. They will outline each chapter, they will have character sheets for each of their characters with full bios. They'll know every single beat of the story, and they will have pictured all the locations of the book. So a planner is basically exactly what it sounds like. Somebody who plans out every single detail of the book. You know, they will be able to tell you that the book has 24 chapters. It's going to be this many words. It has these types of characters. And basically everything that you would think a planner would plan, they plan out to the nth degree. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's a great way to write a book. So if that's you, embrace it and celebrate it because that is fantastic. It means you're a lot more organized than most writers out there. The other type of writer you'll run across is somebody called a pantser. And that's somebody who lets the character guide the story. They will sit down and start writing, and these characters will pop into their head, and they'll start just writing the story, not knowing exactly where it goes, how it's going to end, what's going to happen with it, if it goes anywhere, if it doesn't go anywhere. It is basically they are learning about the story as they go forward. They have no idea what's going to happen next. And again, that's not a bad thing. That's actually kind of exciting when you think about it. It's kind of like you're watching a movie and you don't really know, hey, what's going to happen? Are all these characters going to make it out in one piece? Are they all going to live? Are they all going to die? A pantser is somebody who is surprised with each new chapter and wonder how the story is going to end, kind of like what we just said. And there's a lot of those out there. So again, if that's the type of writer you are, embrace it and celebrate it because that's very, very cool and it can be a lot of fun. And the only thing is a pantser tends to have a lot of editing, so they'll pump out the first draft and then they'll have to go through and really clean it up. And that can be a little bit of a downfall for that type of writer. But, you know, hey, their books get together and come together in the end, and once they're all cleaned up, they're some of the best books out there. Now, what most writers are, they're a combination of the two. They will plan and they'll write the story by the seat of their pants, hence the name pantsers, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. So, a combo writer, author, they might outline the story. They might know they might know the beginning, the middle, and the end, which gives them kind of their roadmap, right? So they kind of know where they start and then where they want to end the story. As I said, they will also really kind of they aren't as stringent as a planner, right? So if they don't necessarily know how each single chapter is going to work out, but they will probably spend some time with the characters. They'll at least know who their main characters are, the antagonist is, the secondary characters, etc., etc., etc. So they'll have all that figured out. They might not know who any of the secondary or tertiary characters are, but they'll sort them out along the way. The one thing with this combination is you don't get bogged down in the details of the story. So, when a planner, they might write themselves into a corner in the outline. If they have their solid outline, but then something happens in the book, or as they're writing the book, they might all of a sudden realize that, oh no, now I have to go back and change everything because this happened and it's really cool and I want to keep it. So that's just kind of one of those things that, you kind of sit there and go, okay, well, if you're a combination of both, you have a lot more flexibility. You can be kind of loosey-goosey. You can just take it one step at a time. But in the end, you know where you're going. And you also, during the process, you don't typically get painted into a corner because you can sit there and go, well, okay, this happened, so now I just have to shift this to get to the end page. So, which are you? Now, I happen to be a combination of everything that I just explained to you, which is why I kind of know this topic pretty well. For some of my books, I've fully outlined. So my sci-fi series, those books were all outlined, so I knew every beat, every single chapter, what was going to happen, what were the plot points for each single chapter that I was going to hit. That way, when I got to the end, I knew where it was going to go. And for the whole series, I have the overlying arc of how the story is going to be, how it's going to end, know who's going to be around, who's not. So it made, for me, doing it that way really easy, because then I could stay on track with the series and with the books. So each book had its own beginning, middle, and end, and then the series has its own beginning, middle, and end. But for my other book series, The Calling, I really just kind of sat down and started writing. I didn't really have any idea of where it was going to go, how it was going to end. As I got deeper into the story, then I kind of sat back and kind of, okay, I need to figure this out, right? I need to figure out where this character is going. Is this going to be one book or two books? I figured out that it needed to be two books because there was just so much that I wanted to cover. So that was kind of my combo. And then my pure pantser story is Tad, the Angel of Death. That story was just from the beginning, middle, of the end. I really had no idea what was going to happen. I know that I wanted to include a drag queen and an angel of death to tell this story, and I knew that I wanted to have it start in 2001 and end sometime in the future. But other than that, I really had no idea where it was going until the very end. And I did have to go back and edit it and work on it and fix things and do details and take care of it and all the hard work after we type the end, right? So that's the big thing. It's like, everyone thinks, oh, you type the end and it's done, but it's not. You got to go back and edit, and you got to fix all the problems, and you got to look for plot holes and all those things. So that's why each one of these levels of writers or styles of writers really have their pluses and their minuses. And if you're interested, I can actually do a pros and cons. But I today just wanted to cover, what kind of writer you are and tell you kind of what kind of writer I am. You don't have to be just one or the other. You can be like me, and it depends on each book, right? Okay, well, so that's everything I have for today. I hope you have a great day. I hope you find this information really helpful. Remember to please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, because I am more than happy to get back at you, or get back to you. I should say, not get back at you. That's just not fun. All right, everybody, have a great day. This has been author MD New with more writing tips and tricks for authors. Take care now. Bye-bye.